Nigeria Super Eagles are gearing up for a crucial match against their African rival, South Africa. Now, this is a key World Cup qualifier match taking place on Friday, June 7th, 2024 at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo, Nigeria. The Super Eagles are looking to bounce back after two opening draws and will be aiming for a win against Bafana. With new players joining the squad and the pressure is now on, our correspondent Onyinye Obaroh is live in Uyo to give us updates. Onyinye, thank you so much for coming on. How did the light training session go for the Super Eagles this morning?
Thank you so much, Judith. The Super Eagles have not had any training this morning yet. Of course, it was the introduction of, that's the return of two players who were stranded due to the NLC strike, talking of Fulham forward and Atalanta forward, the persons of Alex Iwobi and Ademola Lookman, who joined up in camp today. Now, we are at the Ibom Icon, where the Super Eagles are camped. And at this time, the Super Eagles had a very brief media parley. The coach of the side wanted it brief because at this time when the two players just joined up, they will have to go through training. Now, they will be having a training at 6 p.m., a closed-door training. We are also expecting the arrival of the Bafana of South Africa. They are to hit ground today and are expected to have a light one today in the evening, later in the evening after the Super Eagles training. So at this time, we are still crossing our fingers, hoping to hear their arrival and waiting for the Super Eagles when they will take up for their training at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium.
In the meantime, with new players like Alex Iwobi and Ademola Lookman joining the camp, will there be additional training sessions to help them, integrate with the team?
Yes, we are hoping that there would be an additional training for them. The 5 players who joined up in camp yesterday had to train differently away from the 15 who were in camp before now. So now the introduction of Ademola Lookman and Alex Iwobi, of course, they will have to train separately. But it's a great thing that the coach of the side has decided a closed-door training so as to inculcate them into his plans. We can also confirm to you that the news about the absence of the assistant coach is 100% because at this time I made inquiries about his whereabouts and did not get details from the media officer of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. At this time, we can confirm to you that the assistant coach, Dana Mokachi, is not in the camp right now. We will be crossing our fingers, waiting out for the news about his arrival when he steps into camp or whatever is holding him back from camp.
Can you provide us details about the media parley that you mentioned earlier that was held at the Super Eagles camp this afternoon?
It was a very brief one. As I did say, the introduction of Alex Iwobi and Ademola Lookman, who just got into camp, had changed the plans. Now, the Super Eagles were supposed to have a long session before their launch, but they could only manage 15 minutes out of the session due to the arrival of these new players. I'm very sure that Coach Finidi George will be having to dot his I, cross the T's, making sure that he can put them into his regimen for the training session he has for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Remember, it's a very crucial encounter. They have 8 games to play out of 10, and only one team will make it out of this group. Nigeria are in 3rd position right now, of course, trailing South Africa and Rwanda, and they have all to play for at home here when they face the Bafana of South Africa, who are a familiar foe to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They do not want to take chances. They want to go all out in this encounter. Now, of course, the late arrival of these players may have scuttled the plan of the coach, who is on his official capacity as the head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He may want to make a first impression, and the delay of these players may have scuttled the plans, but we can still at least get something out of the delay, make something good out of the delay, try to get more of their training drills, inculcate the players who just came into camp to see how they can also bond with the team, bond with the other players who have been training since Sunday in Akwa Ibom.
Well, we're really hopeful to see what the first outing for George Finidi will be. But about the opponents, which is the South Africa's national team, Bafana, have they arrived in Uyo yet? Do you have any details on them?
they have not touched down yet, but we'll give you that scoop. We're heading down to the airport after we capture the Super Eagles of Nigeria as they step up for their training, their closed-door training at the camp right now. So after that, we would head up to the airport to catch up with the arrival of the Bafana squad.
Onyinye, many thanks. We appreciate you for joining us.